Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of In Conversation With. It's a section where we interview stalwarts from the A&M media and PR industry. Our guest for today is Manav Dhanda. He's the Group CEO of Sri Adhikari Brothers Group, which has businesses across television broadcast, movie production and distribution, digital content, publication, etc. So, Manav, extending a warm welcome to you on behalf of the agency reporter team.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Congratulations on completing 20 years of SAB TV.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Yes.
I'm sure it was a tremendous journey for everyone at SAB. So, Manav, can you start by telling us more about what we can expect from SAB TV network in coming days ahead?
Very interesting times. Not many know what's coming up any which way, right? In times of COVID. I think the wait for all of us is to try and get back to normal first, because last 3-4 months have been extremely trying, very, very challenging. But recovery signs in terms of business seem very positive. How soon will normal come back is something that nobody knows, but we're all hoping it comes back fairly quickly. But obviously, there's a long journey at a state and a nation level. Unfortunately, COVID's been bursting a lot in last 1 odd week, where the numbers have been highest for the nation. One obviously hopes that will A, slow down, and B, the current outburst of COVID spread will not impact business as it did in the past. Once that settles down, I'm sure we'll have more concrete plans going forward.
Sure, Manav. My next question is about your music channel, Masti. So, what makes Masti India's #1 music channel, and that too for so long? Is it the content, or the market, or packaging?
There's no one answer. I was crunching some data when we completed a decade of Masti, on which we even sent some marketing mailers, and the numbers are absolutely incredible, which in fact surprised me for a very good reason as well. To give you an insight, of the first decade that Masti was on air, its entire lifetime that is, it was #1 for 51% of the weeks of the first decade entirely, right? Of the last 5 years, it was #1 for about 74% of the time, right? These are staggering numbers. Keep in mind that too for a genre where content is 100% duplicable. Music is the only genre that I know of where content is not just fully duplicable. In fact, it is fully duplicated by competition, right? One has often perceived that consumers cannot differentiate music channels one from the other. But obviously that's not the case, because they have known which channel to go to for a decade now, and increasing over the last 5 years, and even more so in times to come, I'm sure about it. So what makes us different? I think it's the people. It's the gene code that we have within. We always think consumer first. I've personally worked in the music business long enough, both in TV and radio, across 3 continents. And I've met 2 kinds of people who work in the music business. Actually, creative business. And I'm right now not casting for music. One kind is the creative hats that say that we know what the country will listen to, right? And the other is that we know what the country might want, but let's try and listen to our audience or understand our audience, what they really want at this point of time, right? Looking at data, looking at insights and trends of the recent past and a long past as well. And from there, trying to forecast and foresee what might be the best for them. And that's what we do best. We always put consumer first for all our channels. And I think that's what has worked for us here. Surely, not to forget that along with the kind of music we offer them, I think we also have the best packaging in the business today across all music channels, and extremely contemporary. Today we chat on a phone, and emoticons is a way of life, right? How we express ourselves is through emoticons half the time. And if you look at our packaging, it's all emoticons based here. We have our own language of emoticons which express our packaging on air. And I think that's what also relates really well. There's a very high sense of familiarity with the audience by and large, with youth even more so, and urban youth even more so. That's what perhaps worked for us.
That is very well put, Manav. So You talked about your consumer, you know them best, right? So can you briefly describe your consumer and what genre of brand is your biggest advertiser in that sense?
Yeah. So music genre as a whole targets 15-year plus. All right. Because by definition in broadcast, 14 and minus is called a kids genre. Not to say that younger audience kids don't watch us, but most of the ad spots that we sell, advertisers who come on board, are targeting the youth of the country. So our primary target audience is 15 to 40. This segmentation is not a choice that I personally choose, the macro segmentations, right? This is how we get data from BARC. During TAM days, we were looking at 15 to 35, but that changed 2, 3 years back. And now they've broad-based the youth to about 40, right? So, so our core audience is 15 to 40. We look at both urban and rural markets. On BARC, the data is split 50% for urban and 50% for rural. So both markets become equally important. Not to deny that our weightage for revenue and viewership often is on the higher side towards the urban side, right? But we still try and cater content that cuts across a broad base of age 15 to 40 and markets urban to rural. To give you an example, the largest blockbuster films of the country are the ones which fit in this segment, right? So because PK is a mass film, it does large volume numbers. There could be some very urban films like Once Upon a there's like say Lunchbox was perhaps not at all consumed in smaller towns and urban markets, right? Uh, it doesn't mean that we only play PK songs. We play all kind of songs, and the assumption that popular popular films, most popular songs get consumed most on music TV is a false assumption. It's not like that. It changes by seasons, by years, by eras. So it's not exactly aligned to popular film, popular artist means popular song. That's not the case really.
Sure. Any word about your biggest advertiser set?
I think we have all the brands that matter, from an Apple to a Google to a Flipkart to an Amazon. The digital brands are on board, to FMCGs like Fog, to bike brands, to full range of HUL, a large range of HUL to PNG. We have a very very large mix here. The way it works is that our audience overlaps wonderfully well with GCs and movie genres. So the kind of advertisers you'll find on a GC or a movie channel will also be active on our channel. In the case of music genre, that comfort rests for the top 2-3 channels, but as you go down the ranks, they might not have similar comfort of having a large spread of clients.
So now, Fir, let's move to your OTT, which is Happii. So can you talk about the content strategy of Happii and what are the elements you think will make Happii the leader in its category of OTT players? Like I think you're the leader in the music segment.
So Happii is a digital content play for comedy to begin with. All right. So Happii is broad based. We have Happii and we have Happify. All right. Happify is purely in the light comedy space. All right. Uh, uh, some very differentiated content. There are shows like Janit Mein Jari, uh, which is perhaps the most intelligent digital show, but expressed in a light satirical manner. There are shows like Rat Race, which are what we call our version of a Dilbert, where rats are getting messed by their boss, who's a dog. It's an animation series, by the way, right? So rats are actually rats, and dogs are actually dogs, and the bosses are dogs, and the rats are the other team. And it's a take on an office setup here, right? And we've done shows with digital icons like Bhuvan Bam on Happify. On the side of Happii Digital, that's more of a content play where we're creating content for other partners. So we've already done a movie for Hotstar called Heat Patange. There are currently three extremely large ticket shows under development for three large digital partner platforms, and we've done about 2 or 3 series already for some digital platforms. So Happii per se is content for third party platform owners, which is not only comedy, could be of any kind, but youthful for sure.
Understood. So, since Sub TV now operates in both TV and OTT space, what looks more exciting to you in that sense? And where do you envisage the future of motion entertainment?
I'm not aligned to the debate that of either and or. I think India is very, very far from that. The day the day broadcast numbers start shrinking, I think that's the day we'll start talking about is it either or. Now I know that in broadcast, uh, English language is not done well, all right, and often quite a few of them are taking call to shut shop on the English channels, and that's evident because an English speaker whose primary language of content consumption is English is assumed to be fairly affluent as well, right? And he probably will have a large smart screen TV at home also, and he can consume a Netflix or a Prime or a Hotstar or anything else, right? But that's what percentage of India really. In a population of 1.32 billion, that number doesn't even count, to be honest, right? Right? Uh, and that's the reason why Netflix is itself launching uh, several packs, truncated price point packs to try and enroll the masses. But the masses are still on TV. They're still consuming TV content. Not to forget, they're also on digital. So it's not either or for them also. I don't think it matters where you're consuming content. It matters what you're consuming. The reality, however, of digital right now in our country is this, uh, which I think needs a look into by digital players before planting the flag of digital on the surface of broadcast TV, which is this: is that today, if you're a family of five, and if all want to watch content on digital, you must first have 5 smartphones. You must have data packs for all 5 of them. You must be able to afford multiple GB data on each one of them, and then you must be able to afford subscription fees for not one but multiple digital platforms, even if they are from $39 to a few $100. Multiples of 5 of is what we're talking about here, unless they have through one account multiple access points. Not many of them have that, by the way, right? And then also have multiple streaming, 4 to 5 streaming simultaneously for all accounts. Very, very few have that when you start filtering it down, right? First question will come into place: affordability for a middle class family. Can they really afford that, right? Unfortunately, in times like COVID, it probably is going to get that much more difficult for them to afford such packs, right? I'm not against it. I hope they can afford such packs more and more in time to come. It's good for all of us, because it must be a game of the best man who wins. But I think affordability is going to be a very, very big question. So from 5 smartphones to 5 data packs and multiple subscriptions. Even if they have family subscriptions, I mean, imagine paying $100 for 5 platforms. This content is locked behind the walls over here. And you can't like content of only one platform. You have like content of multiple platforms, right? That's one challenge. The second challenge, and an even bigger challenge, is this: is that no matter which city you are in Delhi or Bombay or any other, sit in your car and take a drive for about half an hour. And can you even talk on the phone without the phone call dropping? If you can't even do voice calls on data coverage in a mega city like Bombay, how can you possibly sit and stream, right, on the go? It's not going to happen. I live in Powai. In my own apartment, I have to walk between rooms to stream my data on my phone, or take a voice call sometimes, right? So coverage itself is a very, very big challenge. And I'm talking about Bombay and Delhi. Leave Bombay, drive for an hour and a half, and then take a left turn off the main expressway. And let me know if you can watch some data on your phone. That's the real India, right? So we're very far from it being an either or debate. And the biggest challenge still is the day digital platform owners in India start turning revenue positive. that will be the day when we start an either or debate, right? Right now, capital infused uh, into digital with expectation of no return is a game that's been happening right now, or a long-term return, right? So broadcast is still has got long enough time. Could be 5, could be 7, could be 10, and beyond that we can't forecast because technology will change in that much time. We don't know what will come up, right? So for me, it's not either or, and the beauty is I think all broadcasters know that, and that is why they are equally focused both in the broadcast space, which is traditional broadcast, and in OTT space. Yeah. So that's my long take on this ongoing debate. Yeah.
Long take, but wonderfully explained. And that was my last question, Manav.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking out time to talk to us today, and really appreciate that you took out time from your busy schedule and joined us today
No, thank you so
on
much.
In
You took out your
Conversation.
time as well, I'm sure. So thank you so much for that.
So do take care, Manav. Stay happy, stay safe. Bye bye.
You stay safe. Bye.